everybody. It is us. It's we. It is Jose and Elliot. The Siskel and Ebert of comic book criticism.
Trademark. Registered trademark, Elliot Serrano, 2009.
There we go. Coming to you once again on CCW TV. So, we've already talked about Blackest Night Superman. We talked about, what did we lead off with?
Blackest Night Superman?
Was it Blackest Night Superman?
And we talked about Jeff Parker's Underground.
Oh, Underground, that's right.
Dummy.
Let's jump into a Marvel book. Fantastic Four, what number was that?
571.
571 by Jonathan Hickman and Dale Inglesham with inks by Paul Mounts. And you guys know what fans we are of Jonathan Hickman. We've sung his praises quite frequently here on the channel. We reviewed the last issue of this series. And while we really enjoyed it,
we did.
With some reservations, actually.
Yes.
We liked this one a lot more. In fact, I think all the problems I had with the previous issue were gone by this issue.
Yep.
We're kind of gone by this.
Didn't take very long.
No, it didn't take long at all, actually. What happens here? Reed Richards has decided, well, he is part of that whole group of pan-universal Reed Richards, that are going throughout reality and just dealing with shit. Using their collective intellect to solve problems. And Reed Richards has got a week. He's going to do it for a few days, like 6 days, I think, actually.
It's like a trial.
Like a trial. It's funny. God created the universe in 6 days. On the seventh, he rested. In 6 days, Reed Richards decided if he wanted to save the universe.
Yes.
Well, anyway. So we get to see more glimpses of how the Reed Richards, what did they call themselves, this whole group? I forgot what they called themselves. How they deal with problems. On one planet, Richards has eliminated hunger. On another planet...
Well, they're using barren planets to grow crops for the entire multiverse.
Right.
So it's not just one planet that he gets rid of.
He's doing doing everything. Well, lots of planets. And on another planet, you see how they deal with the...
Coming of Galactus?
The beginning? Galactus is really cool, but no, I'm talking about Dr. Doom.
Oh, yeah.
How they deal with Doom, which is...
I think right there is going to come back and bite them in the ass.
No, it is going to bite them in the ass.
Because when you put all those Dooms together, that's not a good thing.
When you essentially take all those Dooms and turn them into... mindless
shells,
Doom bots. Really.
Pretty much, yeah. That's what they're kind of doing.
It's gonna bite you on the ass.
But you don't put them all together, man.
No.
Not even if they're mindless. You don't put all 80 Dooms in one room.
In a place they call the Hole.
Yeah.
The place where they grow all the food, the farm, where they put all the Dooms, the Hole. Well, here we're exploring the intellect of Reed Richards. And again, when you read this, you sit there and you go, I sit there and I go, my God, did Jason Aaron have... Jonathan Hickman must have had a hell of a time writing some of this dialogue. Because not only does it have to make sense from a science standpoint, but it can't be so high-minded that you don't understand it. And we've said this before. Hickman knows how to write the Reed Richards character. And then there are times when he has to ratchet it down, and write the other characters. He has to write Sue Storm or Sue Richards, Johnny, Ben, Benjamin. Franklin. Hickman...
He's already got these voices down.
He's got the voices down, and I think he's going somewhere with Franklin right now.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of folks are talking about how Franklin's going to regain his psionic powers. He's going to be able to, do that crazy reality altering stuff that he wasn't able to do since before the John Byrne run.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like he's setting up more than that right now. So this is just really, it's a treat to read how he's handling these characters. And what was my one reservation about the previous issue? The artwork, where I felt Dale Englisham, his stuff really wasn't doing it for me.
It was so jarring.
It was pretty jarring.
That first issue.
But you know what? I think something happened between that last issue and this one. I think he really found his zone with it.
Yeah,
because man,
I've gone on record before as saying I don't like Eaglesham's art. I didn't like his stuff on JSA. I really didn't like his stuff in the first issues. But I have to say, I don't know what has changed. I don't know if it's just that I'm, after the jarring first issue, that I'm just comfortable with it. But it did seem like probably the best thing he's ever done to me.
No, definitely. And that opening spread with Galactus. Wow. I mean, we're
like
talking
5 surfers and
This was really, really.
And I think that's maybe what got me was I turned this page and I'm like, that's an actually really cool double splash page. Yeah. That's a really cool looking scene.
Yes, especially when we were criticizing the splash pages last time.
But see, this is the only splash page in the book. But it's the way you use it
for effect.
Is for effect.
Yes.
And this is the perfect effect.
Yes, we're talking right from the get go. Bam! Gotcha. Yeah. So no, I agree. Englisham now is really bringing that Silver Age feel, but giving it a very contemporary spin, and it's really I think it's gorgeous right now, and the proportions are fine again. I'm starting to accept the idea of Reed Richards being kind of buff, but he doesn't seem as buff in this issue as he did in the last one. That's kind of what got us last time. He did tone it down a bit. So it's really, to me, really, really impressive. And I was reading this, I'm going, wow.
This scene...
Yeah. Go on.
No, the scene where Reed Richards performs surgery on his son. This is the kind of crazy shit that I miss in Fantastic Four. Just all this science and just the wonderment of this comic and just...
This was like the kind of stuff that you would only read like in a Grant Morrison or Warren Ellis book. But Hickman is bringing this, and dare I say it, Hickman is on that level. He's on the same level right now with what he's doing here. He's on the same level as Warren Ellis and Grant Morrison. Because I'm reading this, and I'm just blown away by it, just like I would be by those other writers.
There's so many ideas that he just throws into these first 2 issues, especially the second one, and they're all just working. They're all really, really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, even the problem that I had with the last issue was the use of all these multiverse versions of Reed Richards, which we have seen before, but it's actually working in here.
Exactly.
Because he is doing something different that hasn't been done before.
And the other cool thing, too, how they all had the Infinity Gauntlet, but then he explains, he goes, well, if you have the Infinity Gauntlet, why don't you just snap your fingers and make it happen? And then the other Richards goes, well, it's not quite like that.
Yeah, usually, they actually explain, too, that the Infinity Gauntlet only works in their universe.
In the universe that it originated in. So
then they can use the Infinity Gauntlet to create whatever stuff they want in that universe, but yeah, that's what he says, like, it's too easy.
Yeah. We would rather just work the problem.
Yeah.
So, any reservations I might have had about the Fantastic Four title, right in here, been addressed. And I'm thinking...
And I like this flashback that they have with Reed and his father.
Because, thank you for bringing that up, because early on, I remember I was reading the book, and I started laughing at one point, because I said to Jose, wow, Reed Richards is turning into a real prick here.
Yeah. Because he's conversation with Sue Richards.
In a conversation he has, it's because he again is becoming very detached and being overly analytical and just allowing himself to be detached so he can just focus his giant intellect on.
And what happens in his story is that he is now growing further from his family.
Exactly.
Because he decides he's going to join this group and he's going to give all his efforts to here, and that's not going to be good for the family dynamic.
And then you have one hell of a cliffhanger.
Yeah. No, I guess that was the other splash page.
Yeah, that was the other splash page, but it worked.
Exactly.
It worked marvelously. So, great book. If you're not reading it, you should be.
Yeah, don't miss out. Like, a lot of you when we started talking about Ages of Atlas in our last review, like, man, I should have gotten onto this book earlier. Well, you know what? 2 issues, Fantastic Four out with Jonathan Hickman. Get on that right away.
Get on it.
Because this is turning into an awesome, awesome book.
All right. And when we come back, another book that you should be reading. Hope to see you then.